Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. We are at part 2 of the Robert Hicks case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. In front of other students and teachers, Mr. Hicks would regularly pull out the victim of her class so that he would sexually abuse her. He would give her money, buy her gifts, clothes, and showered her with all the attention. He told her he loved her, and she said it back. Mr. Hicks even went as far as gifting the family a $100,000 check from his retirement fund to pay for the victim's college. By the victim's junior year, she tried to unalive herself by taking pills during a bath one night. When she was rushed to the hospital, Mr. Hicks had the audacity to show up and get permission from her mom to see her. Mr. Hicks in 2019 and his wife moved to Roseville, California. But the abuse did not stop. This time, to shake things up, he bought her a sex toy, and he would travel back to the Bay Area in his RV and pick the victim up. The only reason he got caught was because the victim's mom found text messages between her underage daughter and her former coach. The victim's mom questioned Mr. Hicks about the rumors circulating through the congregation about an inappropriate relationship with her daughter, and according to her, and I quote, he used God as an excuse for the attention he gave to the victim, unquote. The victim would have to quit her job so that he would stop showing up at her place of employment. The victim and her family ended up moving out of state to escape the abuse. On April 6, 2023, the victim sued Robert Hicks, Mountain View Academy, and the Central California Conference of SDAs in a civil matter. The case was settled on March 13th of 2025. And to no surprise, Mountain View Academy, the Central California Conference of SDAs, and their attorneys have no comment with regards to this situation that sheds darkness over their institution. Sadly, Mr. Hicks was not the first and only pedophile at this school. In January of 2001, it was reported that a 41-year-old Alton Albert King Jr. was sexually abusing boys between 1998 and 2000. He faced $1 million arrest warrant on charges of 4 counts of felony child molestation. This man was the school's basketball and flag football coach. Alton would take advantage during trips to games to Colorado, Vallejo, and Fresno, in addition to doing so at his home in San Jose, California. Mr. King's position at this school was on a volunteer basis, and according to the then principal, Donald Olson, employees at the school undergo fingerprinting and background checks, and volunteers do not. When asked if this was going to change given the severity of the situation, he told SF Gate, and I quote, "I'm guessing we will implement background checks for volunteers immediately." Mr. Olson would not comment on the connection between Mr. King and the academy or say how long he was a volunteer. Mr. Olson was able to provide that Mr. King had been fired from his position he held for 3 years as a volunteer coach. Mr. Olson said the academy and staff were shocked and saddened by the allegations. He was caught during a basketball game in Fresno over a weekend when members of the school's Mustang varsity team told other staff members that Mr. King had sexually assaulted some students. Principal Olson was advised about the abuse on Monday, and he reported it to the police. 11 boys came forward with their stories of sexual abuse at the hands of this monster. Alton was employed as an accountant for a subacute Saratoga hospital and the Children's Recovery Center in San Jose. There and at the school, he pretended to be a pediatrician in order to gain access to children and proceed to examine them to, quote, make sure they were growing properly, and then would proceed to violate them. Alton King is married and a father of twins, both who attended Mountain View Academy. Alton turned himself in on January 11th of 2001, and despite new charges of forcible molestation with a child under the age of 14, he was able to post a $1 million bond bail and was out by January 15th, 2001. He was then ordered to stay at least 1,000 yards from any public school, including the Mountain View Academy. Despite these serious allegations against him, during his trial, more than 20 letters of support for Alton were presented by his defense. 9 out of the aged 13 through 17-year-old boys he abused at Mountain View Academy between 1999 and the year 2000 testified against him. Only 5 of those testimonies brought justice through his convictions. In November of 2002, he was found guilty as charged for committing lewd and lascivious conduct, oral copulation, and sexual battery of 5 of his victims. In February of 2003, Alton was sentenced to 14 years and 8 months in prison for molesting 5 boys from 1998 through 2000 by the Santa Clara County Superior Court Judge Thomas Hastings. We reached the end of today's episode of Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole where I currently live. Stay tuned for the next episode on the next case, and make sure to follow me on all socials by the same handle. My IG is bayarea.housewife, and then I also have a Bay Area HW of True Crime Instagram. I have a Spotify, Apple Podcast, and of course TikTok, a YouTube. If you like my content, do me a favor and rate my show wherever you listen. As always, I accept and respect your opinions. If you have any case suggestions, questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Call me, beat me at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. I'll see you chismosas y chismosos in the next. Adios.